everybody, I'm Zenith Warrior Princess, and welcome back to Diving Into DuckTales, where I'm actually alive! I'm alive, guys! I'm back! It's been a rough it's been a rough month. May was not very good to me. You guys already know about the fire, but what you don't know is I had food poisoning last week as well. And so in addition to that and muscle issues while I was recovering from surgery, and trying to deal with insurance stuff, and trying to go to voice classes to improve my feminine voice, it's been a month. How's it going, Kat?
Probably about as well as yours, if not slightly better, because at least I didn't step on a leprechaun or something, which you apparently did.
I swear, I must be cursed by a gypsy for this entire year, ever since December of last year. I have had nothing but bad luck, health issues, computer issues, fires. Oh, and that's not to mention the people who keep setting off the fire alarm every week.
By burning pasta? How do you do that?
Burning pasta, not only that, but then there was also the week immediately after the fire, someone ran down the hallway, took the fire extinguisher, and sprayed in the hallway, and we all thought it was a smoke bomb.
You have crazy people in your apartments then, I swear to God.
Unfortunately, I can't leave until November because that's when my lease is up. And honestly, I don't know if I have the strength to move because, the surgery has kind of sapped a lot of my strength. So I'm hanging in there, but it's been an awful year. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm very sorry I've been away from DuckTales and from my other videos for so long. But thank you. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and thank you, Kat and Doug. I love you both. Thank you for taking over.
Love you too, and you're welcome.
How's it going, Doug?
I am the glitch that causes your Google to crash. I am the faulty internet that makes your stuff spotty. I'm not very good at this.
You son of a bitch.
I'm Darkwing Duck.
Whatever, I do what I want. Yeah, I cause Google to crash. What of it? I do what I want.
The Doug Knight returns.
Let me just say, it feels so nice to be recording with you guys again. We just recorded Flubber before we're doing this, but it's nice to get back into the shtick and actually be able to do this again. And I'm sending hugs to both of you because you did a fantastic job. The only thing I ended up doing was promote the videos and comment a couple of times, but these guys did the work. You deserve a medal.
Yeah. Where's my damn medal? I wanna be shiny.
We'll get to that eventually.
I
know. So yeah, it's been a rough month. I've honestly been kind of sad at the amount of lack of output that I've been able to get to. Even though we've actually managed to put out a lot of videos this year, it's just I personally haven't been able to do a lot of stuff. But in any case, we're back, and in today's episode, we're going to do our mid-season recap for all the episodes that I missed out on.
Which is a lot considering the weird-ass schedule they did for those 2 weeks. Seriously, 9 episodes over the course of 2 weeks? Are you kidding me? And then a 4 or 5 month hiatus? Jesus Christ, guys. What is it, Steven Universe again? Oh my God.
This was ridiculous, especially because, alright, we were getting ready. The day before. We're like, okay, we're going to record for Treasure of the Found Lamp, and we were going to do the Outlaw Scrooge Mcduck together. And then the fire happened. It's like, I don't know what's going on. But
and God said no. No, just say Zeus said no.
Well, I did steal Hermes' sandals, so...
You bastard.
Alright, let's start at the beginning, give my thoughts on the episodes, recap a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to do the ones that we already covered in a full episode. but just the ones that, I missed out on. So let's start with Treasure of the Found Lamp, and I really like this one. I was kind of surprised because I remember us watching Treasure of the Lost Lamp before we actually sat down to do this because we wanted to talk about it. We didn't think there would be enough for a full episode in just the Treasure of the Found Lamp. So it's like, okay, we watched Treasure of the Lost Lamp, and it was okay.
It's a like a 3-hour long episode, pretty much. That
Like-
slightly better than normal episodes.
It was a good movie, but the character of Dijon was a little bit
He was the worst.
And there were some things that I liked about it, some things that I didn't like about it. Christopher Lloyd is a great villain. Christopher Lloyd is awesome.
Well, of course, he's Christopher Lloyd. Even when he plays like a Rasputin and he's falling apart and not quite singing, he's still awesome because he's Christopher Lloyd.
I'm surprised that they didn't do any callbacks to Christopher Lloyd's character for this, but honestly, Treasure of the Found Lamp is a much better episode than the movie was. I think it improves so much on it. I love what they did with Jin, making Dijon into an actual badass character who lives for adventure. That was so awesome.
And I love how serious he was about everything, and he's recording everything at saying this will go down in history, and I'm like, this is all staged, right?
Oh, speaking of which, Webby's fake quest, Webby squeeing when she's like, I get to make a fake quest.
This is my moment.
This is my moment. There are a lot of really good moments here. I love what they did with Jin. I think him adventuring and knowing every single riddle is awesome. And the callbacks are really nice. But the thing that really got me about the episode was the story of the genie. And I started crying. I really did.
No, it's so romantic. I love it. And it's weird because I think that I won't spoil too much, but let's just say that the Aladdin remake I think kind of rips off of it a bit. So, yeah, just, a little teaser for you.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Aladdin remake yet, but I will say that I really do enjoy this. And as someone who is exceedingly gay, I'm super special, awesome lesbian pants over here. I really appreciated the Genie story because it was so sweet.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's cool because it calls back to the movie, but it's still its own thing in a slightly alternate universe. So I think they did I think it was a good decision on their part to do that.
Although I do wish... Go on.
It basically, like we were saying, it subverts expectation at every turn. You think it's going to do, one thing, and it winds up going, in the complete opposite direction each time.
Yeah, it's a great, subversion, and I wish that Ma Beagle also had better children.
Also, I love how in this episode we get, was it 3 voice actors from BoJack Horseman alone? You got Dewey, who voices Rutabaga. You get Ma Beagle as Margot Martinson as herself, and you get Gladstone. What was his name?
Paul
Doug?
F. Tompkins.
Paul F. Tompkins, who plays Mr. Peanut Butter. So you get all of these. I'm like, wait, is this a semi comeback for BoJack? Because that'd be awesome.
Like I said, basically most of the cast consists of Parks and Rec and Community vets anyway. So
Yeah.
Is Ron Swanson in this?
If only.
I will have a steak in his honor when I can actually hold down a steak. But and I also another thing I want to point out before we move on. I love the theremin scene. You've been playing the theremin for 1 hour.
Yeah, that. Oh God! Don't remind me of Doofus. Please don't remind me of Doofus. He disturbs me every time I see him on screen.
So yeah, I really liked the Treasure of the Found Lamp. I thought it was really it was a really good update of a movie that I liked.
And it was a good, callback after, the time off in between episodes.
Also, if you've never even seen the movie, it does a great job of investing you into this idea, so it works on so many levels. Moving on to the Outlaw Scrooge McDuck. This was another one that I liked, but I think it does a good job of kind of coexisting with the other episode, because in the last episode, Scrooge puts all his stuff in a museum, like a lot of his treasures and like things that have history to him, and learns the value of like telling stories of these treasures to people. And this is an episode of him telling a story about his past to Louis. So I think it's a nice bookend.
Yeah, it was technically this could be a two-parter if they wanted to. And it's nice because technically both stories take place in the past. And in this case, we get like a full range of like different characters coming back into the mix.
I like that it was in the Old West. I wasn't a big fan of Rocker Duck, but he wasn't in it that much. Goldie is Goldie, like she's still awesome. And overall, like it's one of those episodes that I think works, but there are certain elements that I'm like, that really made it for me. Gizmo Duck in the past, I did not expect that to happen.
Steampunk Gizmo Duck.
Steamo Duck.
I want to see a cosplay of that now. Like, if somebody pulls it off, I will be really impressed.
Make that happen. And I also didn't expect Gyro, because time travel and the time technology comes back in a future episode in the following episode. So I'm like, oh my god.
Gyro equals Time Lord confirmed.
It's also funny because we have Donna and David Tennant. So it's like altogether it's just like a Time Lord reunion.
Yeah, and I thought this it was a nice lead up to what eventually is going to happen in later episodes, because it inspires Louis because he kind of gave up on his business in the beginning, and now he's getting back to it, but now he's going to do it the Goldie way.
I'm looking forward to see what he does with that. Overall, I think it's a good episode. I don't think there would have been much to talk about had we done a full episode on it, because like you said, I think it would have worked better to talk with the Found Lamp, because there's a lot in it that I like, but it's one of those episodes that it's one of those filler kind of episodes, you know what I'm saying?
It provides background for characters, and it's a fun little adventure that's a setup for something later. So
I liked the jokes. I liked, seeing Gizmo Duck in the Old West, but I'm looking forward more to talk about the next episode, the 87-cent solution. Oh my god.
All I do is win, no matter what.
Got money on my mind. Millions of dollars, I'm making it rain. Not since the Ballad of Dupaloni have I loved an episode so much. And granted, they're really great episodes this season, and more that we're going to be talking about later, but the 87-cent solution for a while was my favorite episode for so many reasons. Glom Gold can't do anything wrong in my book. Oh my god.
Even though he does everything wrong in the book.
And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? but really, this whole episode of him using time technology, but the fact that you don't know it's Glomgold doing it, and when he shows up and dances on the lid of the coffin and starts throwing money, and it's like, all I do is win. He literally makes it rain, and I'm just like, I was dying.
Oh my god, that was amazing. I wish we did a live reaction to that, because I think I would have fell out of my seat at that point.
I lost it. I had to pause the video. I had to... I couldn't. Because the fact that at this point, he really thinks that Scrooge is dead, and he's literally dancing on his grave.
I just love how good a job it does of fooling you into thinking that Scrooge is legit going crazy, because given how obsessed he is with his money and everything, it is perfectly understandable he would react in this manner and would get increasingly paranoid. And all of, like, the stuff that goes wrong, you know, could easily go wrong of its own volition, not necessarily because of Glomgold. The whole twist at the end reveals that, yes, it was Glomgold all along. That just made it so much better.
I also love that they showcase the time travel element in the previous episode, so the time teaser now actually is incorporated, and it's just like, oh, okay, so he's using time stop technology.
I was so happy about that, because that was from the original, and like I said, that was like the episode I watched the most, so when I saw that again, I'm like, yes, something I actually remember offhand, and it is actually used appropriately, thank God.
But it's a great mystery, and the fact that it looks like, hear that, Scrooge McDuck? I'm more put together than you. I'm more stable than you are. It's
What a
just so
horrible thought.
nice. And like this entire time, like he plays it up, but I mean it's Glomgold, so he acts weird, but you expect him to act weird. So it's just like you expect him to be the villain, but you don't, because how could he possibly do this? It's a really wonderful episode.
Genius!
Glomgold, Glomgold.
Glomgold.
I'll make it rain. All right. That's enough about that episode. I still love it. I love it to death. You guys have talked about it a lot, but it's so good. Now we gotta talk about an episode that I have problems with.
Me too.
The Golden Spear. Honestly, ever since we had like the stuff on the moon, I thought it was kind of lazy what they're doing with, the Moonanites. And yes, I'm not calling them anything else. They are the Moonanites. They have the quad lasers.
All they need is all they really need is like the really slow laser beam, like attacking people.
It just
We're the moon.
The moon people are so stupid, and the whole time I'm just like, the plot is predictable. What's her name? Penumbra. Penumbra was just an ass the entire time for no reason, and Ella was helping them out, and she was doing all this, and then the transparently evil villain, who does admittedly have a very good voice actor, but is very transparently evil, is secretly evil. Who would have thought that? Like,
You have to admit, though, that was kind of an interesting twist that they pulled at the end. Like, you knew that they were gonna, wind up being evil, but then, just the moment they choose and the method of him just up and shooting himself, it does kind of surprise you.
yeah, to an extent, I think that there are clever parts to it, and I kind of wish that there was more to the Moonanites. Like, I wish there was more to their hatred other than it's different. Then again, bigotry is a thing. So.
Like, it's weird
They
because
live in fear.
it's weird because you think that they're like a futuristic society, considering they live out in space, they live on the moon, all of their technology is gold based and stuff. Yet they kind of act like primitives, like to the point where like they see something new and they freak out over it. And I think it's kind of what doesn't work about them.
You know what this reminds me of? Come to think of it,
What?
they remind me of Marvin the Martian. Because, like, he's just, like, conqueror for no reason and always failing, and just, like their design and the way they act, it just...
Well, no, his plan was simple. He wanted to blow up Earth because it obstructed his view of Venus. Simple as that.
Oh, God. So, yeah, like, this whole episode, I love the Della stuff. Della is sweet and kind, in every scene with her, I was awing. Because I feel it's like the same thing with when we find out what happened to her. Every scene with Della, I feel for her, and her conviction and passion to get her sons back. But everything else with the Mooninites, I just don't like.
You gotta admit, the stuff with Donald was funny, though.
Oh my god, poor Donald. Poor Donald. All he just wanted to take a nap. He just wanted to take a nap.
And nobody
Under
would let him.
orders.
I know, it's like, poor guy, yeah, already has to raise, like, 3 unruly, like, boys, and then he's with, like, living in the vicinity of his adventure-seeking uncle, and a pilot that is constantly crashing shit, and there's crazy gods that keep dragging him into, like, places, and a fucking goat that drags him into another dimension.
Oh, by the way, can we just touch on the fact that, zombies rose from the ground underneath Mcduck Manor? Doesn't that, what does that imply? How many people have died and, been buried underneath Mcduck Manor?
Well, Gyro did said he had unethical experiments on people who tried to invade the money bin. So.
Well, that was the money bin.
I don't know. I completely believe it either way. I mean, Scrooge did some shady shit to get where he is. Plus, his place is technically haunted.
I just love that they have the Necronomicon
in VHS format.
Groovy.
Hey, you have a DVD in your Necronomicon.
Yeah, I actually do own the Necronomicon. I bought it for 25 cents at a con once. Winning.
and I love how Donald just, like, has the chainsaw.
That's such a great image, and now I want to see a cosplay of that too. Someone is Donald Duck with, like, the chainsaw arm.
So yeah, like, the stuff with Donald is very funny, although I feel so bad for him.
I know, now he's stuck with the frickin' Mooninites, and you know that they're gonna, like, use him as an excuse to, like, further provoke the civilians into declaring war, considering that nobody can understand him, so the leader's probably gonna do something like, oh yeah, he's saying that we come to invade and destroy you all, and that's not gonna be what Donald says, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, we gotta defend ourselves. You know that shit's gonna happen.
I'm sorry, I can't understand a word that you're saying.
Blah.
So yeah, that episode was frustrating, but the next episode made me cry again. Nothing can stop Della Duck. Oh my god, I cried. I love this.
So I do want to make note. So the Golden Spear and Nothing Can Stop Della Duck aired here May 10th, which was a Friday, and then May 13th, which was a Monday. The weekend between Mother's Day.
Oh my god!
So that's why they chose the scheduling this way.
Oh my god, that's even sweeter. Oh my god. I need a minute.
I think it would have been more appropriate to air it on Mother's Day, considering how out of, like, format the episodes were. But whatever.
And there are a couple episodes that were aired out of order, but I actually think that they did a great job in actually making it work better, because right now everything's leading up to Della Duck coming back, and like, just the feeling you get when Della opens the door and finally sees Scrooge and the boys. Oh my god.
Sup, party people? I'm back in his house.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I knew it! My mom's part cyborg!
I knew I was part robot.
Like,
yeah.
This episode was just so touching.
I know, and this was, like, the perfect build-up and payoff to, like, all of that, mystery surrounding Della and all the struggle we like, went through with her. Like, this was very satisfying to see her reunite with her boys. Like, I was crying, too. Like, I was trying to hold it back for the live reaction, but inside I'm like, oh, my soul.
I also love how Louis was, like, unbelieving a little bit at first, and then he starts crying, and I'm like, even Louis!
You know, I'm surprised,
I'm not
though,
crying, you're crying.
You know what I'm surprised though? Like when she laid eyes on them, like they were standing there with Webby. I'm surprised she wasn't like, wait a minute, I have 4 kids?
Well, I think she knew she only laid 3 eggs.
Yeah, but one of them could have been twins. You don't know.
I also love the names that she had for them. They should have kept Jet, Turbo, and Rebel. I am sorry,
Yes!
but those are so much cooler.
Yes, so much better. What the fuck, Donald? Why did you give him those names?
Because then Dewey would have gone turbo.
He's gonna do that anyway.
Turbo-tastic.
Turbo-tastic.
Have some candy.
He's going turbo, full-on turbo.
Well, he does later on when he throws up all that cake.
I'm shifting into turbo. Power Rangers.
Drink Power Thirst and you will vomit a wedding.
And I love the lesson here of how, like, she's been away for so long. They have been without a mom for so long. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, there's problems, and they have to work through it. And I really like they show how dysfunctional that they are, but how they still love each other, and how she's a little bit irresponsible as a mom.
Well, I mean, like they said, she's not a mom yet. She just, met her boys, and plus she's at that stage where, she's trying to be their best friend instead of being an actual parent. So you got to find like a balance between that, which I'm pretty sure she'll do with the upcoming episodes, especially since she's doing like one-on-one interactions with each of them.
Mm-hmm. And I love how she just randomly brings back the gilded robot from El Dorado.
Seriously, Scrooge has got to start locking that door.
This episode to me was all about Della and her inability to cook.
But she finally got to eat food again. No more licorice gum.
No more licorice. Happy talk like a pirate bird.
Although now Donald has to deal with the licorice gum.
Oh god, poor Donald.
He ate a whole packet of that shit. I'm like, oh god. I'd rather set my mouth on fire.
So yeah, I really love this episode. I think it's really touching. It's really sweet. And any problems that I would have with Della, the episode addresses as part of the episode. So I really don't have any issues with that. Next, Raiders of the Doomsday Vault. Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
Yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red.
Stand out above the crowd.
Even if I have to shout out loud. So mine is the only face you see. Gotta stand out till you notice Zen.
Goofy movie is canon in Duckverse.
Yes, as it damn well should be.
I love this episode for so many reasons. Like the Powerline reference is awesome. Ludwig von Drake being back and being all funny and interacting with them as kind of a hologram almost. And like all this Chiaki, I need to get down. Chiaki.
But silly kitty.
Chiaki wants to join Glomgold in infiltrating the vault. Okay. But yeah, like there's so many funny things with Ludwig as the interactive AI and all this other stuff, but to me, the best thing of the episode is Glomgold. Especially because, like, he is his own worst enemy. Glomgold, you're on thin ice.
No, literally.
I just love, like, in this case, there is no pretense to his evil scheme. He just goes up there, and he's like, okay, here's my plan. I break into the vault, I steal the seeds to the money tree, you and I split the proceeds 10%, 90%, then we blow up the vault and run away. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
I love when he falls in the water and he comes out, he's like, oh, part of the scheme.
I meant to do that.
And then he falls back in the water like...
Oh god.
And then in the other part that I lost it. I simply lost it. I had to pause and stop, and it was when he set himself on fire with the gasoline, and he goes to Scrooge and is like, what did you want? Scrooge was like, what was I supposed to do? Not make me not do that? It's like, even he knows he's stupid.
He's like, look, if you're not going to stop my clearly idiotic schemes, then I guess I'll just have to stop doing idiotic schemes.
Well, then Owlson will finally be able to, like, to sleep.
I swear to God, she's gonna end up being like the main villain by the end of this. I'm telling you right now. Like, one more harebrained scheme from Glom Gold, she's gonna flip her shit. She's gonna buy him out of the company, and she's gonna take on Scrooge herself. Like, I guarantee you, that's what's gonna happen.
I also love how when Glom Gold tries to steal the money, it blows away. Curse you, gentle breeze.
Curse you, me.
There's just so many funny things in this episode, and yeah, like having Della teach Dewey how to fly a plane was a little bit reckless and a little bit endangering, but at the same time, Della always has the back of her son, so, like, I mean, it kind of balances out.
Yeah, like, because they're so alike, they work together perfectly. The problem is they're kind of a bad influence on each other.
Now close your eyes while flying the plane. Not a good idea. But I really did like how she, like, started saying, oh, maybe, like, this is very dangerous, but she ends up catching him, and, like, you know, I always have you, even if you're in dangerous situations, I always have your back. And that to me is very touching.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad she, made clear the intention that he doesn't need to prove himself to her to be worthy of her love. Like, that to me was really important, considering how Dewey has been throughout this entire series, like, and how desperate he's been to find his mom and get her approval.
Mm-hmm. And his mom's a Powerline fan. Yes. She stands out.
And she flies the Cloud Slayer.
That is such a better name for the plane.
Yes. Although we're still worried now, because what about Launchpad? Like, is he not the pilot anymore? Like, is she gonna give him shade every single time they meet now? Because that's kind of mean.
I think
we'll probably get to Launchpad later.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if he's gonna do something else now, but we'll talk about that.
I wonder if he's gonna get dangerous.
Anyway, so that was a great episode. Very funny. Had me rolling. Friendship hates magic. This subverted my expectations in a lot of ways. I thought that her new friend was going to be Magica in disguise, and I was wrong.
Thank God.
Yeah, we all thought that. Or some... Yeah. Also, just a quick thing. You mentioned how there were episodes aired out of order. In fact, this was the only episode to be aired out of order this season. Originally, this was supposed to be aired... Well, in production order, it takes place between Whatever Happened to Della Duck and Treasure of the Found Lamb. But, I mean... It actually, in the case that it's in right now, makes maybe a little more sense.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think what really works about the reordering is, A, the focus is on Della Duck for the entire first part of this season.
Which is what they needed, honestly, because after the whole premiere episode of Della, we needed to get that closure, and I'm glad they got to that right away. I feel like bringing Lena back would have taken away from that and kind of taken away from her own, a return as well. So I'm definitely glad they put this episode where it is right now.
Another thing that works about it is because if Lena came back in that episode, where's she been for all the previous episodes?
That's what we were saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed, Violet has a striking resemblance to one of the birds from... it's like the wacky bird from the Three Caballeros?
Oh, you mean that... I know which bird you're talking about, too.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but she looks a lot like it.
I mean, maybe not that particular bird, like she's definitely like she's more of a gray, where the other one was way more colorful. But I guess in terms of like at least the shape of her design, it maybe is a little similar, just because she has that more of like I want to say like a stork like quality to her, something like that.
Also, apparently everyone's a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they all get sent to the Shadow Realm.
It's time to duel.
Nerds.
I love it. They bring her back with a children's card game.
I mean,
Well, children's dice game.
That too. Go dice roll.
Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Which is the basic. So it's just like Duel Monsters.
so it's just like Duel Monsters.
No, it's totally not like Duel Monsters. Explain how.
Mine has dice. So yeah, I really like this episode. I like that Lena was around the entire time, because I was wondering what had happened to her, and the fact that like she was just shadowing her the entire time was interesting.
It was nice to see her like looking out for her. I mean, I guess technically speaking, she could have gone to wherever as a shadow, but I mean, I guess she chose to stay with Webby for obvious reasons.
Friendship bracelet. I did like that the friendship bracelet is what saved her. I liked the twist of the tulpas, because I thought Magica was back twice. First, in two separate instances, I'm like, wait a second, is Magica in the Shadow Realm with her? But wait, no. But like, there's a lot of like things that I just kept second guessing. So this episode did a great job of subverting my expectations. I really like how all the slumber parties end in demonic possessions.
Webby has
Webby.
To quote Nash, Webby has a gang now.
Yep.
I have a gang. I've never had a gang before.
And you gotta love the parts with Beakley and Launchpad.
Oh god, yeah.
Beakley is now a fan of Darkwing Duck, and she cosplays.
That is amazing, like, because I love how they point out the fact that she doesn't get along with anyone, considering, how, like, snippy she tends to be, and how, like, she's always, like, has to be the mom figure that cleans up after everyone. So it was interesting to see her actually interact with Launchpad on, like, a familial level. And the fact that they actually, like, had a love of like superheroes in common was like really surprising. Like, she likes the Scarlet Pimpernel, who basically is like Darkwing Duck, and she gets so obsessed to the point where she's like, "We must film the ending."
I lost it. I lost it at that line. I lost it, and I love the soup scene where he takes all the spoons and then the straw, and I'm like, just pick up the soup and drink it.
This is Launchpad we're talking about. He never does anything easy.
So yeah, this episode is great. It's exactly what I needed, and I cheered when Lena came back.
Yes.
I cheered.
But now I'm wondering, is she gonna live in the mansion with them? Like, I assume so.
Scrooge said, in the Shadow War that if when he gets his family back, she's got a place in the mansion.
Mm-hmm. And there's enough
got a
rooms.
Place in the family, yeah.
Yeah, he has a couple dozen or so bedrooms to spare.
So, for the most part, everything we've talked up until now has been good. I didn't really like the spear, but everything else has been really, really good. Either funny or just amazing. And so, it pains me to say that the dangerous chemistry of Gandra D is just not for me.
God.
It's definitely the weakest. I mean, I will give it this, is that it does try to explore, like, the inverse of, of Gizmo Duck and Fenton, in that, this whole time, Fenton's been trying to be Gizmo Duck, but now he is Gizmo Duck, and he's trying to be Fenton. He's trying to find that balance. So, I mean, in that respect, that is something to be admired.
There is some good stuff with Fenton, but the cliches...
Yeah, they go about... The execution is just off.
I wonder if Disney made this show with the reference to Lady and the Tramp.
Gee, I wonder. Also, I want to point out a mistake I made before. I initially thought that Gandra was like from the comics. She's actually from the original TV show, but she doesn't show up until like one episode in the second season and then in the third season. And keep in mind, by that point, we hadn't fully watched the third season. We were still reeling from the previous season, the ridiculousness of the previous season. So, but yeah, we got a chance to watch some of the old episodes with Gandra, and I could pretty much surmise her character in 3 words: eyes, hair, and tits. That was pretty much it. So the fact that they changed her into like, you know, a like rebellious, smart, feminist, like scientist type, like, I guess is better, but it's not.
I don't like that she's a hipster. It was obvious that she was working for Waddle with the goddamn... She had the Waddle headphones on.
Like I said, I was hoping because she was wearing those, they were, you know, not going to go with the obvious thing of her working for Waddle, but nope. No.
I figure because if she really was her own independent scientist, you think she'd actually invent her own headphones? Like, they would be of, like, a unique design all her own. The fact that she's wearing, like, a corporate-made, like, Waddle logo thing was just a dead giveaway.
Yeah, there was just, like, quite a few things that I kind of scoffed at. And... Mega Beaks. Okay.
It is the best and worst thing about this episode.
Yes, it's the best and worst thing because it's so stupid and funny. But like he is so bored that he drinks all of the nano serum when he's supposed to have one. First of all, that's stupid but hilarious, and then it just turns him into a Hulk and he goes all King Kong. Like, oh, okay, like a part of me really likes it, but a part of me is just like, what?
Yeah, like, I went back and rewatched this episode because I was trying to understand the plan and how the nanites worked and everything, and, like, because I was wondering why the hell do they need the Blathering Blatherskite code unless they were trying to steal his suit? How does that affect the nanites? And they're, like, saying, oh, it's the same tech that Gyro used, and it reacts to the same passcode. I'm like, wait, why? That makes no sense. Like, why wouldn't they change that just reacts on its own? Like, Gandra was able to, you know, experiment on herself and uses the electricity at will. Why couldn't Beaks do the same thing? And I'm wondering, like, what would have been the effect had he not drank that much? Would he have just been, you know, a little buff and maybe control electricity? Like, I really don't understand what the plan was, aside from him just, you know, getting attention. But he got, like, the attention in, like, the worst way possible.
And the funniest part, though, is I can't use my phone.
I can't use my phone.
I'm kidnapped your kids, I think. I don't know how this family works.
Like, Mark Beaks is so ineffectual as a villain, except for the part where he hacks the seagulls and does the, like, whole montage.
Seagull.
That part was cool, actually. I admit,
yeah, that part was great.
Yeah.
And
that actually
then
played to his strengths, and like in terms of like him listening to pop music and using the apps on his phone and doing everything in a rhythm so he doesn't get shot at. Like, that actually was quite clever.
No signal, what?
Boo.
like there are some things I really do like about Mark Beaks, but then there are other things where I'm like, he's used a little bit too often for my taste, and this episode was not as good for him as other episodes.
And then you have the romance, like, oh god.
It was cliche. You saw every point that was coming, and
well, the worst part was that they had a chance to, like, you know, actually give them a real connection, like have them form an actual romance, but they keep hindering with all the over-the-top dating cliche shit. And then, of course, she turns on him unapologetically, then, you know, helps him later on at, like, you know, with no prompting whatsoever, and then just disappears. Like, how are we really supposed to root for this character when she's, like, you know, when she's such a liar and a hypocrite and all that?
It would have been better if she had come clean when he found out, and then Mark Beaks broke in. She was forced to work for him, but she had a change of heart because she liked the whole scene that they had. Here, it just doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah, it
I think-
doesn't.
The whole thing is like, I think when somebody was saying that, Gandra D was basically a damsel in distress in the original, so I guess they didn't want to do anything that was going to have her be the damsel in this. They wanted her to, have, the female empowerment.
Yeah, but in this case, they made her a bitch, and
They
a
did.
self-serving bitch at that.
So yeah, this is the weakest episode of the season so far. But honestly, overall, this season has been amazing. And it culminates...
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Go
Mark
right
Beeks-
ahead.
Mark Beeks has been both Sailor Moon and the Hulk.
Oh my god. You won't like me when I'm angry or pretty.
Ah, he can't turn into the Hulk. Only I can do that.
Rah.
I swear I did it once.
And now I'm imagining Professor Hulk just being like, "Rawr, rawr."
With pretty hair.
So yeah, well, this may be the weakest episode of the season. The final episode that we're going to be talking about for this episode is, in my eyes, the best. And there are a couple things that I have to talk about and that we have to address. But the first thing I want to say is that, previously my favorite episode was the 87-cent solution, which replaced the Ballad of Duke Baloney. They're two different beasts, but I kind of like the 87 cents solution a little bit more. But then this episode comes, and this is my favorite episode. The thing we do have to address, though, because there was stuff going on at the time, and we had at the time when this reaction was recorded by you, Jim Cummings was had allegations of sexual assault and animal abuse. By the time that we put out the episode, those allegations were cleared. Jim Cummings has been cleared of all charges. So we are, we could not have known at the time, because Kat had talked to me about this before they filmed the episode, and I approved of it because I think it was something that they needed to talk about. But he has been cleared of all charges, so we apologize, because it was mentioned in a couple episodes, but it's something that, is actually a good thing. I'm glad that, Winnie the Pooh is not evil.
Well, I mean, even in the, with all that went on, he's still not, looking like the best, he didn't come out smelling clean, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some mud on his shoe.
So, with that being said, we wanted to address that because I know people mentioned that in the comments. He's not looking the cleanest. But then again, I must bring attention to something he recorded before this whole controversy stopped. His thighs are just too dummy thick, and the clap of his ass cheeks have alerted the bees.
Oh, God.
He did that in his Winnie the Pooh voice, and it got me.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. I'm picturing that now, and I'm like,
With that being said, this episode is amazing. This episode is everything I would want. It updates the character, and it does a good job of commenting on, when you meet your hero and your hero isn't what you thought it would be, and there's so many relatable things about this, and the fact that it kind of coincided with the controversy with Jim Cummings was very strange.
I know, it was almost prophetic in a way.
And it's I love how they talked about Hollywood and all the different things that they try to do to appeal to fans, whereas Launchpad was just but that's not Darkwing Duck. And when we actually have a massive fanboy who plays the character who's now going to be Darkwing Duck. Oh my god, Darkwing Duck's back.
I know, we get 2 Darkwing Ducks, and like one is like the original voice actor, and one I guess is going to be the new one. And I think it's funny because the voice actor of Drake Mallard is I'm probably going to mess this name up, Chris Diamantopoulos or something.
Diamantopoulos.
Yeah, the same guy who voices Storkules, also a hero.
And Mickey Mouse.
And Mickey Mouse. And he now voices the new Darkwing Duck, and I gotta say, he does an uncanny Jim Cummings impression. Like,
he does
at
a
times.
fantastic job, and there's like the fact that you see the different aspects. It does a little bit of Galaxy Quest, where you see that the actors, what happens when they lose fame after a while, and they're only remembered for one thing, and how they can transform into heroes or villains, and there's some really great commentary there. And okay, the original Darkwing, Jim Starling, becomes Negaduck, so we have origins for both Negaduck and Darkwing Duck in this.
I love how I basically predicted that whole thing without realizing it.
Yeah, like, because I watched the episodes after I posted them, and you're like, wait a sec, he went full on Negaduck, and I'm like, yeah, he did. Like, that's the whole thing. You know what it reminds me of? 101 Dalmatians, 102 Dalmatians.
101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure.
Yes, what he's...
Say that 3 times fast.
Where you have this sort of hero who becomes a villain, and it's just like you have this character who you want to root for, but you can't, and like the more you think he's gonna choose the right path, he doesn't, and then the person who looked up to him becomes the person that you look up to, and just the finale of this episode, the final bits where he, where Drake Mallard comes out and it's like, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I squeed. I was so excited. I'm like, yes. And then they said, we can do this for real. I'm like,
yes,
I can die happy now. Darkwing Duck is back. Darkwing
we hope
Duck.
Anyway.
You got set up for a spin-off.
I know, it's what everybody's been wanting.
Yes.
And even if it's not just like a spin-off, even if it's in DuckTales still, I don't care. We got Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. We got Dangerous. I'm like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. A million times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm squeeing. Fangirl.
No, I as you know, yeah, I get you. I was so...
The trailer for the Darkwing Duck movie had Jim Gordon in it.
Yeah, why the hell was Commissioner Gordon in this? Like, I know they're supposed to be referencing the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, but did they have to be that on the nose about it?
Well, the thing is, the episode is called The Duck Knight Returns, which it's a reference to The Dark Knight Returns, where you had Batman and Jim Gordon being dark and gritty. And the stupid thing, I was doing the tags for that episode, and everyone puts The Dark Knight Returns, but it's The Duck Knight Returns.
Actually, it's actually
Damn
referencing...
you, Frank Miller!
I know, right? But it's actually referencing the comics too. They actually legit did a bunch of comic issues called The Duck Knight Returns, and it takes place like during the original show where Drake Mallard actually retired for like a year after he had a falling out with Launchpad, and then it was all about him and Gosling like getting back into the role after his villains make a comeback.
I actually had the first couple of those. They were really good, and I remember Linkara reviewing them. I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm really kind of sad that was canceled.
I know, and you know what? You know what else makes us perfect? Especially the fact that now we have Negaduck. We now have Negaduck and Magica Dispel in the same universe.
Yes! Yes.
Which means there is a potential for a crossover with that, and that would be one of the most amazing things ever brought to the screen.
And now, as Launchpad said in a previous episode, the lore is that deep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this episode was so amazing. Like, as you could all tell during the video, I got so damn emotional. Like I said, not just, from seeing one of my favorite shows come back, for seeing a brand new origin, and also, like I said, the whole allegory with them, your hero becoming the villain and everything. Like, given all that's happened with the Me Too movement and the outing of certain YouTube reviewers and everything, like, this episode, like, to me, hit particularly hard to home. Because, because it's, like I said, it's really hard sometimes to distinguish between the creator and their work, because sometimes they're a little too close and are one of the same. But to me, this is like a good medium, like, in how to handle all that and how to enjoy the thing that made you so happy without letting the whole ugliness, like, completely taint it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like, that's part of why this episode is one of my favorites. It's so amazing, and it did such a good job with that message.
But I am going to be forever salty about one thing.
What?
Edgar Wright was kicked off yet another superhero movie project.
God damn it!
God damn it!
And here's another thing I noticed. They referenced Mythbusters in this episode.
Sorry, say that again, you cut out.
They referenced Mythbusters in this episode.
They did?
Yeah, when the filmmaker is talking about it, he's just like, it's a representation, it's a representation of man's reality to man.
Oh, okay, I get it now. All right.
That's a Mythbusters quote.
Okay, yeah, I didn't watch much of Mythbusters, so I probably didn't catch that. I did notice. Sorry, I did notice the second time around the power line reference, the second one we've seen so far. When Dewey makes his own little dance video, he actually is doing the dance to the song "Eye to Eye" at the end of a Goofy movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
By the way, you also noted something, Kat, about a little kind of blink and you miss it reference. But when Jim Starling goes up, and he's trying to break into the set for Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the part where he pretends to be the courier in order to sneak onto the set, and he's the guy he meets, the guy whose name is Ted. He, is asking, like, what set you going to? Darkwing Duck. Never heard of it. That is really funny because the guy who voices him is Ted Stone, the creator of Darkwing Duck.
Oh my god.
And subsequently the creator of DuckTales as well.
Oh my god. This episode is just chock full of stuff. But we have been talking an hour now, so I'm going to give my overall thoughts. This season is getting so good. The batch of episodes, like the 9 episodes that I missed, most of them are amazing. And even the ones that are a little bit less aren't what I would call bad. Overall, this season 2 trumps season 1. It's much more consistent, and when it's good, it is damn good. So, season 2 so far is a huge improvement. I'm so happy with the direction that they're going. And I was a little bit worried because a lot of the, I didn't really know what the overall story was going to be. But the story is mostly Della Duck. And for the most part, that's been sweet and I loved it. But I don't care. Glom Gold is amazing.
And he always will be.
Curse you, gentle viewers.
And now we gotta wait till frickin' September for the new episodes. Like, come on, really? And they're not even done with season 2. Like, they're only, like, I think 17 episodes in. Like, the previous one had, like, 23 episodes. So, like, what the hell are they gonna do, really? Are they gonna do another, like, bomb of episodes in September and then wait until, like, Christmas to do a special or something? Like, come on, guys. I thought you were better than that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be like Gravity Falls Season 2, where we technically have 2 seasons in the span of 1, but I don't know. All I'm saying is I give this 2 flippers up for Glom Gold. Kat, what are your thoughts?
I give it a 7.5 out of 9, and I'm rating that according to the episodes that were released. Because there was 9 episodes, and I liked 7.5 out of them. So, but yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed toying with the formats and everything. I look forward to doing more live reactions when the new ones come out. Sorry you can't join us, and I wish you lived closer, because they would be a lot more fun to do. But
it's okay. When I'm with you, I will do live actions. You won't know when, but they will happen. And I promise you, I'll sneak up, and you'll actually get to see me after my transition because I'll be wearing dresses. Yay! Yay!
Yay.
You can't sneak up on us with all your fat.
She'll roll up
See it
on
coming,
us.
Yeah.
I'll just be blinded by your bald head, Doug.
But yeah, this was good. I like these episodes, and I actually already saw the teaser for the new episodes too, and shows some interesting clips. Like not much, not in ways of context, but I mean, I definitely am excited. They have Huey going Super Saiyan. I am eager to see the story behind that.
I want to know what this is all about. Is it over 9,000?
Well, there's another scene, too, that really baffles me and how we got to that point. They show Webby, Lena, Violet, Louie, Goldie, and Doofus together in one scene. I really like to know how that comes about.
I see.
Yes.
And Mr. Dog, what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, this. I only think it gets better and better each time. Granted, yes, it stumbled along the way in certain times, but it just gets right back up, and it just gets better from there too. So I've loved this set of episodes.
I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna keep doing.
Yeah. It was it's just been such a good season so far. With that being said, I am Zenith Warrior Princess.
I'm Kat Macberrie.
I'm Doug Macberrie.
And before I leave, thank you so much once again for bearing with me throughout my transition, throughout my numerous different health issues, which I'm trying to resolve, and through my fire. You guys have all stuck with me. Not just you, the fans, thank you so much, but Kat and Doug,
You're
you
welcome.
have been there for me through this entire crappy 6 months that I've been through. So thank you. I love you guys. Big hugs.
Big hugs.
Hugging!
Glad to do it.
And yeah, guys, look forward to more live reactions from this crew, the zoo crew.
Oh, is that what we're calling ourselves now? I thought we were the fat crew.
I thought this was a crazy crew.
That's another copyright.
we are the debate crew. In
Patent
any
pending.
case, just remember, guys, life comes at you fast. So just remember, always have good friends.
And when you're in trouble, you call DW.
Let's get dangerous.
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
Hey, this is Megami33. Thank you for watching Zenith Will Review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos. If you like what you see, check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/ZenithWillReview.